Condolences to all of you. I spoke to Tamara and Terry and listened as they spoke about the love, the virtues, the life of Sheila Rose. So I'll share that with you in a moment. But prior to that, some prayers, if I may, some insights. It was here, whose name was Ben Sira. And someone called Ben Sira, who I just lost, a member of the family, and asked for words that would help them as they were in this time of grieving. And Ben Sira said, "Fear not death." This is something we share with all who ever lived, with all who ever will be. Grieve for those who've passed on. Do not hide your grief. Do not restrain your mourning, but remember that continuing sorrow is worse than death. When the dead are at rest, let their memory rest. Be consoled when the soul departs. Death is better than a life of pain, eternal rest, and constant sickness. And seek not to understand what is too difficult for you. Search not for what is hidden from you, for you, my friend, have been shown much more than we can ever understand. As a drop of water in the sea, as a grain of sand on the shore, are our few days in eternity. The good things in life, they last for a few days, but a good name. Sheila Rose Anderson. It's a good name that will endure forever and ever. Forever from our perspective. Judaism goes back 4,000 years. And during those years, we found it difficult to stay in one place because we were always forced to move from city to town to shtetl. And when we moved, we always hitched our horses to the wagons and filled our cart with necessities and moved on. But we always had our books. In Hebrew, we're known as Am HaSefer, the people of the book. Our books have sustained us throughout all these years. In our books you will find, first of all, a great history of the Jewish people and all our contributions and words to tell us how to conduct our lives, how to relate to people, how to reach out and give charity and all good things. And the poetry, outstanding. The one prayer that the world, every religion, recites is the Psalms of David. The Lord is my shepherd on page 6. And page 6 is the Hebrew. The translation is on page 7. So may I ask you please on page 7 with me, the top of the page, which is the way King David wrote it. They made a few changes, as you see, an alternative translation which begins with Adonai. But why change the wording of King David? He's not here to defend himself. So let's read from the top together, please. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. It's a very long time, forever. No one lives forever. In Jewish parlance, this is our forever. And we firmly believe, with the years given us, we reach out, we touch, we do as much goodness as we can. If we have a family, make sure they're the best and we take care of it. In whatever we do through life. Always have God in mind and the principles of God's teachings. Sometimes they go awry as well. Sheila Rose, God bless her. She did good. She did very, very well. God bless her. And her life should be praised, as all of you, I'm sure, do. And as the rabbi does, because he heard, he listened. And God bless her. She was someone to follow for next generations. Ecclesiastes, while thinking about time, the essence of time, wrote to everything, there's a season and a time for every purpose under the heavens. A time to be born, and sadly, time to die, time to laugh, time to cry, time to mourn, time to dance, time to cast away stones, a time to gather them together again. A time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek, a time to lose, a time to discard, a time to keep, a time to be silent, and yes, a time to speak. So with your kind indulgence, I will read to you Tamara, with Terry in the background. Said to me, and I was, as I said before, very, very impressed. And it was good. Sheila was born January 4th. Today, January 4th. It's a full cycle of her life, from beginning to end. She was born, she was a landsman. She was born in Brooklyn, where some of us might have been born. I was there, grew up there. She was born to Lillian Sims. The family moved out to Los Angeles. She attended Fairfax High School. Graduated in 1954. She met and married Harold Andy Anderson. She had many friends. She played Pan, Mahjong. I played Mahjong at one time, just one time. Someone needed someone else to play. My wife said, "Come on now, we'll play Mahjong." So they taught me before I started, and I played a whole game of Mahjong. And they called me again to come down. I said, to tell you the truth, I'd rather be waterboarded.
Talk louder.
So,
Okay.
I didn't play again, needless to say, but my wife still does, and obviously she did, and they have such a good time. You think about someone playing Mahjong, you know they're enjoying it, and I'm glad she did. God bless her, I'm glad she did. She was an amazing woman. She traveled with Andy. They would take off daily trips. Didn't know where they were going, didn't have any idea, but the destination wasn't that important. The fact is they were together and took off in a car. And the majesty and mystery of where they were going, that was important. Wherever they landed, you knew they were going to have a good time. Tamara's best friend, which is good. I have 5 daughters. It's so good to see the mothers interact with daughters. And yes, they're best friends. And I'm glad you had that. She was a Girl Scout leader. She was a troop leader. She loved kids, obviously. She took pride in her garden. Loved her roses, Sheila Rose did. She also loved Samantha, a mini schnauzer. Granddaughter, Skylar, Lior, great-grandchild, Sheila, and Sheila will have a companion soon. Which is also very beautiful to think of. And she loved her grandchildren, great-grandchildren. She absolutely loved them. Skylar, Shelby, Ilana, Aiden's mom, great relationship with granddaughters. She had a high school friend with whom she was very close, Dolores. Debbie is here, her daughter. Hi, Debbie. Bless you, Debbie. Cousins, Ethel and John also. Great relationship. They would call for advice. Alana and Ethel, very close to each other. She was a member of the Brandeis Women's Group. And Brandeis, my kids went to the camp. It's a great institution. But this might have been the university, he said. Could be. But either one is great. It's wonderful. She's a member of B'nai B'rith, Temple Eitz Chaim. She was a very proud Jew. So she didn't go to shul every week, perhaps. But you know what? She knew she was Jewish, and the kids knew it. And grow up with an understanding of Yiddishkeit, and that's the best. She did her job. God bless her. Family was very, very important to her. I asked, as I usually do, well, tell me about her cooking. And without hesitating, Tamara said, she was a terrible cook. But I understand that Tamara is a good cook. So, invite me over one day, I'm going to test it out. They talked every day. And as Terry told me, sometimes a few times a day. In fact, all the time, a few times a day. She was outgoing, loved baby. She was an extrovert. She had great stories of the past. Well thought of stories, revered. On the 10th anniversary party for Terry and Tamara, she invited 150 guests. And I kept on looking at that, 150 guests at a 10th anniversary. That's amazing. It's wonderful. How was the food?
Great.
Great.
Not kosher.
Not kosher. I'm glad you didn't invite me today. I've been hungry all day now. But I celebrate your love for each other. And it's still intact, which is important. She was the matriarch of the family and kept everyone together. She cared very much for the kids. Whenever needed, she was there to help, to give advice, and make sure that everything was okay. And they said that Terry's mother was very much like her. Terry's mother, I understand, passed away years ago, but you're a lucky man to have two women alike in your life. So this was Ignatius Chayil, a woman of valor, God bless her. And then sadly, she was diagnosed with a fatal disease, and within a very short time, 2 weeks, she passed from your life, from all your lives. And that's very sad. She did her thing during her lifetime. She did it. She was there for each and every one of you. She loved you. She gave of herself. And she made that anniversary party, 150 guests. A good neshama, good soul. And I listened, I felt for you guys, because you were lucky. So God bless her. God bless her soul. And may she rest in everlasting peace. Amen.
Amen.
Does anyone want to say, please, Tamara?
You okay? You want me to get her to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrote it out because I think.
No, that's the way she is. Do you mind if I sit in your seat?
Of course, of course.
It's warm.
Do you want to take off your belt?
Today is a special day. We are here to honor my mother's life on her birthday. So why today? In Torah class, I learned the most righteous rabbis or teachers are born and then die on the same day, life completing a full circle. My mother is the most righteous person I know. My great teacher, a great listener, and gave amazing advice to family and friends that sought her counsel. That's why I selected this day for us to gather. My mother was my best friend, always there for me, and after my dad's passing over 20 years ago, not a day would pass without us seeing each other or talking on the phone many times a day. For those of us who really knew my mom, her personality, enthusiasm for life, and her warmth will be greatly missed. She was the true matriarch of our family, and I could not imagine a future without her. She deeply cared for family, and she was an awesome mom in every way possible. She was incredibly proud of her granddaughters, Skylar, Shelby, and Aiden, the women they are and are becoming. And my mom always put her family first without personal regard. She loved my dad, Andy, who is buried next to where she will be for eternity. They were inseparable for 37 years. They enjoyed a wonderful life together. They traveled, they went antiquing, they worked together, they hosted parties for family and friends. They were the best friends in life, and now they'd be together again forever. Today and this past week has been the most difficult days of my life. There's so many memories, experiences, and stories that I would love to share, but I simply cannot get the words out right now. But a year from now, at the unveiling, in this peaceful location, when this pandemic is over and the restrictions are lifted, we will all get together again and truly celebrate memorialize my mother's wonderful life.
I'm going to say a few words. Everyone knows me. I want to share with you some great stories. At least I hope you think they're great. I first met Sheila in 1980. I pulled up to her and Andy's house to pick up my date tomorrow. Her mother came out to introduce herself, and she said, "I'm Sheila. What do you know about air popcorn makers?" I said, "Well, I do have one at home." She said, "Great, get out here and help us." And she had a house full of kids, and I made it pop, and Andy came out, and we went off and talked for a while. Being the protective parents they were, they made me promise that I would have her back within some reasonable time. So Tamara and I shared a summer romance. Tamara went to school. I went off doing other things. And you may have heard this before. In 2003, I go into my neighborhood market, Gelson's Market, and get in a line, and this woman's tugging at me saying, "You're Terry." And I looked at her. I wasn't really sure who it was, she introduced herself as Tammy's mother. My daughter Tammy. I said, "Oh, how's Tammy doing? I haven't seen her in 25 years." She said, "Great, she's moving in across the street from me, and she'd probably love to hear from you." I said, "Wow, well, that would be good. That would be good. Here's my business card." And so I got, Tammy and I connected, and yeah, she moved into her house half completed. And the short of it is, that was our last first date. Okay, here we are, 17 years ago. So that was Sheila. She was out there. She reminded me so much of my own mom, who died at 64 from a similar death. And I wish they had known each other. Sheila and I had a lot of time to talk about things. She loved to tell me about her life and her growing up in New York and Los Angeles, and these wonderful stories. I said she needed to write a book or a movie because they were terrific. And we had a lot in common. And I also had quite a bit in common with Andy. We had a tremendous love for collecting coins, and spent most of our time doing that during our time together. But as of late, last 15 years, she was stricken with lots of problems. She was a cat of 18 lives. She was in and out of the hospital many times, and this was the last time. This is the last time. We thank all of you who had a chance to come and see her before she passed on us. That was good for everyone, myself, and we all had a chance to see her.
We appreciate the people that called and FaceTime with her.
Right, FaceTime. People.
Times.
It was amazing. And so I'm going to leave you with this. Sheila had a bucket list. Okay. And like some of our bucket lists, you don't get to do everything because things happen. But she got to go to Israel with her daughter. It was a wonderful trip, always to be remembered. Okay. She got to have her 80th birthday party, healthy. Quite wonderful. She got to see her great-grandchild. Really good. And she also was able to share with us at the end, what about her life. And Tamara and I were saying, "Mom, you're leaving us with no regrets here. There's no regrets. You've done everything. You've done everything." And so for that,
She wasn't alone.
and yes, on her bucket list, she made Tamara and I promise that we would be next to her when she took her last breath. And it happened, as you know. So, mitzvah for that. So that's all I can say at this point. Okay, next.
Rabbi, sit. Terry can sit. Sit. Rabbi, sit there.
This is by far the greatest loss I have ever suffered. However, I just want to tell you how much I love and miss you. I also want to celebrate you on this day, your birthday. You have been a role model to me since I was a little girl, and I am so blessed and grateful that we got to share 32 years of memories together. You are so strong, so independent, so beautiful, so intelligent, so loyal, and so loving. You're an amazing mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. You are everything I strive to be, and now you are gone. I thought you were somehow invincible, like Wonder Woman and a with 9 or even 18 lives. I just never thought you would ever pass, yet this day has come, and I will cherish every memory. I am so lucky that you got to see me finish preschool, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and law school. You grew such a special bond with Lior, and you saw us walk down the aisle at our wedding. You were there for my gender reveal, and my baby shower, and my second gender reveal. You met Sheila within nearly minutes of her birth, and Sheila loves her Gigi so much. As my grandma would often tell me, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. While you will not physically meet our son next month, I have accepted this reality, and I know you are here watching down on us all, keeping me on check and making sure I continue on the right path. While I wish we could have said goodbye formally, I know this is the way that you would have wanted it, to move on to the next journey and be with Papa and Samantha, fearlessly, fast, and with dignity and not in pain. Though it will take us some time to all be together again, I know you are here, and you are here with us now. Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you forever and always.
Can I say something? Dear Shilachka, that's how I call her with Russian twist. Today is January 4. It's your birthday, but we are not going to say goodbye to you. We say how great you are and how lucky we are to know you. 15 years ago I met you, and right away we became a good friends. You were special to everyone. It was a privilege to know you and to be with you. You were a great mom. And like once the rabbi said, only the best mom get promoted to grandmom. That is why God take you to a special, peaceful place. Be in heaven. Be with God.
Years ago, I met Sheila, and somewhere during that time, I dropped Sheila and I started calling her Mom, because that's what she was to me. She was my mom. She was another mom, like she was to so many people here. I tried to write something for her, and I just realized there was so much I wanted to cover. The nurse that was taking care of her when she was, first night she was discharged, she came into her house and she was taking care of her, and she said, I've been to a lot of houses and they're vanilla, but this is not vanilla. Yeah. And I thought that was her in a nutshell. That's the case. There is a big void in my heart for her. I keep thinking that she's going to, I don't know, slowly walk up here and wave to us and give that like twinkle in her eyes that we know she was a guide for me, a role model for me. She was there in my darkest hour. And she had a knack. She wouldn't judge you. She wouldn't criticize you. She would listen to you, and she would offer her advice. And it didn't make you feel bad. And you know it was good because she had all these life smarts about her. She knew something about everything. And usually she was right, but she didn't stick it down your throat. She said it in such a way that made you feel better for hearing it and for going to her and listening to her for it. And I always have been thinking about her and what she would say and what she would do. And even here, there's a bit of negative here. And she would just say, brush it away. You just focus on the good and the positive. And this is her legacy. And I'm proud to be part of it. I'm proud to call her mother. I love you, Sheila.
Thank you. The eulogies were beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Which gave validation to what I wrote, because I never know what people say if they're telling me the truth, but there's so much more that I could have said had I known. And I'm glad you guys filled in. And I'm sorry I didn't get to know her. That's always sad. She did good. Boy, did she do good. And I must say, from a granddaughter, I want to make special note of that. It's very seldom that a grandchild does get up to say something. And when they do, it's most silly, laughable. What you wrote and how you felt, and I could feel your feeling of it. It so touched me. Because I had a grandmother. She was dead, but that's. But what you said was so beautiful and so warm, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All of you are wonderful. All right, I will continue. Emelei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, exalted and compassionate God. Ametzei Menucha Nechona Tachas Kanfei Hashchina, we ask that you grant infinite rest. B'malos Kadoshim U'Toharim Kazor Agim Asidim, infinite rest among the holy and pure. The soul of Sheila Rose Anderson has gone to her eternal home. Merciful God, I ask that Sheila find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in a bond of life. Adonai Natan v'Adonai Lakach. Yehishem Adonai Mavorach. God had given, and on the wings of angels, God takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be the name of Sheila Rose Anderson. For Sheila and the Lord are one. May she rest in everlasting peace. And let us all say, Amen. We will place the casket before we say the Kaddish.
So, before we move forward, we'll have Bob shift the setup.
Yeah, look.
Your dad wants you to stand here. I know. Rocks from Israel. They want to open them up.
You okay? Sorry, I don't first day here and, trying to keep this peaceful.
So we'll return to our seats so that we can say the Kaddish, and then we'll
Patient the Kaddish. And I ask those of you who are wearing the ribbon, please rise.
You didn't have a ribbon?
We'll get your ribbon.
Just the
Yes.
You have one.
The grant?
yeah.
You get one?
For the shovel. Here's rocks from Israel.
Yeah, Shelby, do you want one?
Yes.
Just put it on your right side. Okay.
For the shovel.
Started with Abraham, Isaac, Joseph. Before Joseph, Yaakov. My name, I forgot. And it's when Jacob thought that his son was gone, and he was told he wasn't gone. It's a happy ending. And when he hears that he starts to grabs the hold of his coat and starts to tear it out of anger. To this day, we still tear an article of clothing. However, we have since substituted a ribbon. The Orthodox still tear clothing, but the ribbon is taking its place now. I ask you please to repeat after me. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Vayam HaEmet. Shema Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai Echad. Thank you. May I ask the rest of you to please stand? You can go back and pick up the book. Prayer book. Rise on page 22, 23. The transliteration, my friends, is on page 23. The Hebrew, it's not Hebrew, it's Aramaic. Can't tell the difference. Is on 20. If you want to read the Hebrew Aramaic, it's on 22. The transliteration is on 23. The words with the CH are pronounced with the guttural. So I ask you to join me together, please, slowly, as we say this last prayer. Sheila goes. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba v'yalma divra chilutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman karim v'yimeru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Li'olam Bornei Halmaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ah V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitalel V'yitalal Shmei D'Kudasha Brihu Le'ela Min Kol B'chata V'shirata Tushbachata v'lechemata D'amiran v'yalma Yimeru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemai V'chayim Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael Yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'chomav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael Yimeru. Amen. Be seated for a moment. The last sentence is, He who makes peace in heaven, may there be peace here on earth. And I think with your mother going up to heaven, she'll get God's air. She'll befriend God, that's for sure.
We'll be back. Sorry, Amanda.
And there will start to be peace. See that, you'll know Mom finally got to, a lot of people want to go to God. Hold on, sure. When she sees him, she'll talk about the Shadas, people on earth, the wars, the anti-Semitism, the diseases, the COVID. God will take care of it. That'll be due to Mom's focus. I want to close with a poem called To Those I Have Loved. Listen, because this is Sheila speaking. It's her words, I'm sure. I never got to know her, but I know these are her words. So listen as if she were talking and reading it to you now. To those I have loved, to those who loved me.
Thank you.
When I'm gone, release me, let me go. I have so many things to see and do. You mustn't tie yourself to me with tears. Be happy that we had so many years. I gave you my love, you can only guess how much you gave me in happiness. I thank you for the love you each have shown. But now it's time to travel on alone. So grieve a while for me, if grieve you must. Then let your grief be comforted by trust. It's only for a while that we must part. So bless the memories within your heart. I won't be far away, for life goes on, so if you need me, call and I will come. Though you can't see or touch me, I'll be near. If you listen with your heart, you'll hear all of my love around you, soft and clear. And then when you must come this way alone, I'll greet you with a smile and welcome you home. God bless you all. My fervent prayer is if I see you guys again, let it be on a happy occasion. A dinner or whatever. But bless you all, and sadly, I'm sure there would have been a full house here inside, but the COVID put an end to that. Please take care of each other. Wash your hands. Wear a mask, which I'm going to put on right now. And God love you. Be safe, everyone, please.
Phone on you?
Yeah. Right.
I want to give you my phone number, or you want you to
I have it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll do it right when we get in the car. I'll text you. I'll send you a short.
And I have your address, honey. Remember when Grandma and I came to visit? We didn't go inside. Took a full visit and went in the summer. I have ready to
Excuse me, could you move?
This one or that one?
I got those two.
That's what you both said. Every 3 months. Oh, such a nice present, Mom.
Here, I'll put it on the house. That's the rest. Keep moving and keep moving.
Where do you reside?
I'm living in downtown Rancho Mirage.
No, it's a great place.
We just moved.
Great place. Long drive.
The far cry from Brooklyn, I must say. But it's
represent her brother-in-law.
and
Okay, we're taking this service.
just take care of it. Yeah, supposedly for social 30 days you could take the work. People that you don't want to have the sense of conversation. Just stay where take care of the kids over there. That looks up on that's pretty the little boy. February.
Okay.
I guess boys are nice. I have no idea what the little boy.
Husband, the Orangeberry side.
Oh, the two kids, guys.
Thank you very much.
Please. I'm glad I can be here for you this time. Just be well and take care of the ladies.
Like your wife says.
Oh, that's a great name. It has to be.
That's a TV station in Ventura County. He owns the TV station.
Oh, really? He does?
He does.
You came here to take pictures. He owns
My friend. Our friend.
That's wonderful.
We wanted to stream, but no streaming.
Oh, and I'm standing in front of it. I'm running. Okay.
Sims had one M.
Oh, okay.
They some spelled it with 2 M's, some spelled it
Oh,
with
really?
one M.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of, because it was originally
You
something
too. Happy
funny.
New Year. Third grade.
Ethan is in the classroom. Oh, you guys look at that.